Hello and welcome back. This is Sherry with Heart and Soulful back in the studio today with just another little short video. I just wanted to share what I'm finishing up today on my table. I have been, if you've been following along, I do lots of different things, and the last kind of kick I've been on for the last few weeks has been kind of practicing some art. So like I said, I do a lot of different things, but one thing that I want to share that I'm a beginner at, so I haven't really done any kind of, not too many sort of tutorials, I've done some, but I am still just learning, and so I don't want to come off like I'm an expert and I know what I'm doing. So I'm always happy to share what I'm learning as I'm learning it, but I just don't want to mislead anybody to thinking that I have gone to any kind of schooling at all. This is all just, me practicing and learning off of watching YouTubes and just my own lifetime of creating things. So I just want to share that with you. I did have somebody comment recently about me not comparing myself to other people, or not, I can't remember the words that she used, not talking down about myself. I wasn't intending to do that. I don't feel that way. I just feel like I'm learning, and I don't want to mislead anybody into thinking I'm an expert. So it's more of that, and more to encourage other people who also may be intimidated by things and learning new things and just kind of practicing, testing things out. I just want to kind of, take the fear out of it, I guess, for everybody else, that just try, because that's all I'm doing is just trying and playing around. And I actually started a lot of this with, gel printing is a lot of fun, and it's kind of, you never know what you're going to get. Now, there are people that have gotten really good at it, and they actually create full pieces of art just from their gel prints. So, I think that takes lots of practice. There's lots of ways to use it, but it's kind of a fun way to just kind of start playing with paint and mixing colors and different textures and patterns and that sort of thing. It's kind of maybe less intimidating to start that way, and then to take and use those prints that you've made and maybe creating collage with it, other things. So I was going to kind of show you a little bit of that today, just kind of what my journey has been and some finished things that I have. Now, this is going to be kind of a repeat for people who've seen these, but this is taking my gel print scraps and then putting them together, and I'll try to find the link to the video where I show how I did this. And I'll put that down below. So it was kind of taking my gel prints and using them to maybe create some other art pieces. I like to do, like I said, so I had taken those strips, and then I just start doing a lot of mark making and doodling with paint pens and metallic pens, and just playing. And it's just kind of fun. I think the more that you use your tools, and the more comfortable you get with intuitive mark making, which is what I would call this, where you kind of just look at the thing and you maybe take what pattern's already there, and then you start getting to where you're adding to what is already there with your own ideas, and you just kind of take it where it leads you. And that's just a really good practice, I think, just to make you more comfortable with using the different tools and finding out what pens you like the most and what kind of paint pens you like the most and that sort of thing. So I've shown this before, but I had taken it a step further by doing these vessels and using the starch, and I have a video where I showed, how I made these. And it was just kind of then taking my piece of art and making it a functional piece of art. Now, until last week, I have never framed a piece that I've made because I wasn't really making art to hang on a wall. And so that is kind of where I am heading now, is to try to, now that I'm feeling more comfortable, is actually put things in a frame and see how I like them and hang them on my walls. And then it's just kind of me feeling like I'm moving forward in my artistic journey. I have some journals that I've made, and some of them I do things inside, but the art ones, I really haven't done too much inside them yet. And I now that I'm kind of feeling more comfortable, I can see the benefit to practicing in those. And that's really kind of just for yourself, but it really kind of helps you, again, use the tools and techniques and kind of just practice with them and experiment. And that's what's so much fun. So I do want to share, though, I went and bought a couple of cheap frames in the last couple of weeks, just to kind of see if I put them in a gallery kind of frame, if I decided something was finished or not. So one thing is I have a bunch of pieces that I've been working on, and they're in different stages, and I put them aside for a while and then come back to them because I maybe don't feel like they're quite finished. I want to do more, but I'm not inspired by them at that point. So it's really kind of fun to have different things going on so that you can, just kind of pick something up and work on it when it feels right and when it kind of has somewhere to lead you. So I've taken one of my, I call them my doodles, my gel print doodles, and I decided to frame one and just see what I thought. And I really like this one like that. So I'm showing this with no glass on it because of the glare. And I wanted to point this out because these are all thin because they're mostly done with rice paper is what I use the most now to do my gel printing. Some of them are on just, printer paper and that sort of thing, but they're kind of thin. So what I need to do on this one is maybe mount it fully onto another substrate so that it's nice and flat in my frame. So I haven't done that yet, but I just kind of wanted to show you what they look like. So that was one that I've kind of finally put in a frame. The other thing, my last video, I had made this shadow box out of an old book. And you do see the glare on that because I did have, I only had one person comment. I really was hoping that I would get some more ideas from people and their opinions because I hadn't tried this before, and I thought, well, if somebody has and it didn't work out, then they'll hopefully let me know. So I just went ahead and went for it, and I took a piece of my craft plastic. If you watch that video, I made the art first and then made the shadow box. I think next time I will do the reverse because it will be much easier, I think, than trying to make something to fit a piece of art that I had already done. So I think I'm going to go the other direction, make a frame, and then I can make my art to fit inside. And then that way I'm hoping that I will have room then to actually make the little notched recess for a piece of glass and have a piece of glass or plexiglass cut to fit my opening. So in this case, I went backwards, didn't do that. So I just used a piece of my craft plastic and I went and got a brand new piece so there wouldn't be any scratches or anything on it. They have the protective tissue. So actually when I even went and took it to my guillotine to cut it down, I kept it in its protective tissue so that I didn't get any scratches on it. It was kind of difficult to get it in here without touching anything, and I have dry air, so it's very staticky, and I do find that things kind of want to stick to it. But I just used some of my art glitter glue and just to kind of glue that in. So it's fine for my studio because it's going to always remind me of kind of one of the first little shadow boxy pieces that I made. So that's finished and ready to hang. And then the thing that I worked on today was another piece that I had started a while ago. And again, I put it aside. I thought I wanted to do a lot more around all these kind of donut-y circle things that I did. And I had already started putting this one flower in with white paint pen. And then after I had done that one is when I thought, oh, maybe I wanted to do more with those circles. So it was kind of like I maybe should have waited till I knew that I had my background finished before I started doing kind of this focal point, but I had already made that move. So I went ahead and I did just add, some of it's now covered up in the mat because again, I've been creating art pieces without even thinking about framing them. And so they're kind of weird sizes. And so they don't fit in there maybe I'm losing some of my design. So it's okay. This one wasn't that much bigger. So I did just do some more little added just kind of detail doodling. Sorry about the shadows again. And then I wanted to stitch on something. So I actually just punched some holes. I didn't need to use that little drill tool if you've been watching my videos where I did some, what do they call those, wood cradles that you do mixed media on, where you have to, it's kind of balsa wood sort of thing. You have to actually use a drill bit to drill the holes that you're going to stitch in. This, I was able to just use this little pin, made it super easy with my felt pad below it because having this flat here, it made it easy to punch through. So I just used that little T-pin and made my holes and then did my stitching. So I did some here and then I just added these little X's over here. So then that kind of got my background where I was a little happier with it, and then just added more with the white paint pen. And then I also just did the center flowers with some French knots. I did some paint pen dots underneath to start, and then I just added those. So again, I'm showing this one without the glass because of the glare, but I'm happy with how that turned out. And so I'm feeling more comfortable using all the tools and trying all the techniques, and it's so much fun. So I still, if you've been watching me for journaling, for creating journals, I have made quite a few over the last few months before I kind of switched to this artsy thing. And I had mentioned that I am going to be making a journal for a friend of the family. And I've been kind of stewing on all my ideas. She's an artist. And so I wanted to kind of do some practice here, because I wanted to kind of do a similar journal to what the ones I've mostly recently done, because that's what made her ask for one. So I kind of want to do them along those lines. She wants a Coptic stitch, but I want to include some more art paper instead of just vintage papers and that sort of thing, so that she can create some pieces of art in her journal also, and then add some of my touches, kind of, sending a little bit of me with it in an artful way, that are maybe in my mind kind of like prompts in a way, or just little souvenirish things. You'll see as I go along. I've got some ideas stewing. So those videos are going to come soon. So if you have been kind of waiting for that, I'll start those after the Thanksgiving holiday. So in the meantime, I just wanted to finish up some of these art pieces that I had started. So this one is the one I finished today, along with the book. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you feel a little bit inspired. And I know that this was a chatty video, but I just kind of wanted to answer that. I don't mean to put myself down. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying... I'm learning, and I'm a beginner, and I'm not ashamed of that or anything. And I'm not trying to compare myself to other artists who have been doing this for a long time. I'm just learning as I go. And I hope that by me showing what I'm doing, that you feel confident, if you're just beginning to just try things. And to me, I feel like even when I work on a piece and I don't feel like it's finished, or I'm not happy with it, I just put it aside, and then I just keep adding to it. I have not learned the art of restraint. So I'm kind of just throwing everything in the kitchen sink at something, just because I'm trying so many new things, and I'm okay with that. So I actually really like all the color. I think the white just kind of made it less hectic, kind of in a way. So I'm trying to stop myself sooner, but I can't help it. And I really like all the doodling. Part of some of the pieces that I have done, if you saw the ones with all the circles, that was truly so that I really kind of had an artful background that I could then doodle on in the evenings, just because I can't sit still. So I kind of like having these things kind of background started. They give me kind of some busy work to do, to keep my hands busy. And so I like that. So I hope you're inspired, like I said, and go forward in your art journey. And I will see you in the next video. So have a great rest of your day. Now go make something. Bye.